Om Shanti. Today's Sakar Murli 15/7/2020. Essence of the Murli. Sweet children, you have to become true Vaishnavas. Together with a precautions of a diet, true Vaishnavas also remain pure. Question: by transforming which weakness into a virtue can your boat go across? Answer: attachment is the biggest weakness. Because of attachment, the remembrance of relatives troubles you. There is the example of a monkey. When a relative dies, they continue to remember him for 12 months. They cover their faces and continue to weep because they constantly remember him. If you were harassed by remembrance of the Father and remember him day and night, in the same way your boat would go across. It would be your great fortune for you to remember the Father in the same way as you remember your physical relatives. Om Shanti. Baba says, the Father explains to the children every day. Consider yourself to be soul and sit in remembrance of the Father. Today, Baba is adding to that. Don't just consider him to be the Father. You also have to consider him to be someone else. Baba say, the main thing is the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, Shiva. He is also called God, the Father. He is the ocean of knowledge too. Because he is the ocean of knowledge, he is also the teacher and teaches Raj Yoga. Only when this is explained can they understand that the true Father is teaching us. Baba says, he tells us, the party calculates that he is the Father of everyone and also the teacher and bestower of salvation. Then he is also called the knowledgeful one. He is the Father, teacher, purifier, and the ocean of knowledge. First of all, praise the Father. He is teaching us. We are Brahma Kumars and Kumaris. Brahma too is a creation of Shiv Baba and it is now the confluence age. The main aim and objective is of Raj Yoga. He is teaching us Raj Yoga. Therefore, this shows that he is also our teacher and that this study for the new world. While you are sitting here, make films the things that you have to explain to others. You have to imbibe this knowledge into yourself. Baba says, you know that some are able to imbibe more than others. Here too, the names of those who are clever in knowledge are glorified. Their status also become high. Baba continue to show you the precautions you have to observe. You are becoming complete Vaishnavas. Vaishnav means those who are vegetarian. They don't eat meat or drink alcohol, etc. But they do indulge in vice. In that case, what is the use of becoming a Vaishnav? They call themselves the one who belong to Vaishnav clan. Baba says this means that they don't eat onions and other tamoguni things, etc. You children know what the tamoguni things are. Some people are very good. They are called religious minded and devotees. Sannyasis are called pure souls, and those who give donation, etc., are called charitable souls. This proves that it is souls that give donations and performs charities. This is why it is said a pure soul, a charitable soul. Baba says a soul is not immune to that effect of action. You should remember such very good terms. Sadhus are called great souls. It is not said great supreme soul. Therefore, it is wrong to say that God is omnipresent. They are all souls. There is a soul in every human being. Those who are educated try to prove that there is a soul in tree as well. They say that there is a soul in each of the 8.4 million species. They say, how could all things grow if there were no soul in them? The human soul cannot transmigrate into non sentient things. Baba says such things have been written in the scriptures. For instance, someone was pushed out of Indraprasth and turned to stone. The father now sits here and explains. He said to the children, break away from all bodily relations and consider yourself to be souls. Constantly remember me alone. You are now completing your 84 births. You know now have to become Sato Pradhan from Tamo Pradhan. The land of sorrow is the impure land. The land of peace and the land of happiness are pure lands. You understand this much, do you not? Baba says people bow down to the ideal of deities who raised in the land of happiness. This proves that they were pure soul in the new world of Bharat. They had a high status. Now people sing, I am without virtue, I have no virtue. It truly is like that. They have no virtue at all. Human beings have a lot of attachment. They constantly remember those who have died. It's in their intellect. This one was my child. When someone's husband or child dies, she continues to remember him. A widow would remember him very well for nearly 12 months. She covered her face and continued to weep all the time. If you were to cover your face and remember the Father day and night in the same way, your boat would go across. The Father says, just as you continue to remember, your husband remember me in the same way, and your sins will be absolved. The Father shows you different way of doing in this. Continue to check your account. Today, there was this much expenditure and this much profit. They calculate their balance every day. Some calculate it every month. It is most essential to do this here. The Father tells you this again and again. He says, "You children are 100 times, 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, 1,000,000,000 times, and multi-million times fortunate." The children who consider themselves to be fortunate would definitely be remembering the Father very well. They will become roses. This had to be explained in a nutshell. You have to become fragrant flowers. The main thing is remembrance. Baba says sannyasis use the term yoga. Your physical fathers would not say, "Remember me." He would not even ask you if you were remembering him. A father remembers his children, and his children remember their father all the time. That is the law. You have to be asked that here because Maya makes you forget. When you come here, you understand that you are coming to the Father. So there should be remembrance of Father. This is why Baba has had these pictures created. You should also have these with you. First of all, begin with the praise of Father. This is our Baba. In fact, he is everyone's Father. He is the bestower of salvation for all, the ocean of knowledge, and the ocean of knowledge full one. Baba is giving us the knowledge of the beginning, middle, and end of the world cycle, through which we become Trikaldarshi. No human being in this world would be Trikaldarshi. The Father says, even Lakshmi and Narayan would not be Trikaldarshi of what we would. It be for them to be Trikaldarshi. You became this and make other the same. If Lakshmi and Narayan had this knowledge, it would have continued from time immemorial. However, destruction takes place in between. Therefore, it cannot continue from time immemorial. You, children, should remember this study very well. Baba says your highest on high study take place at the confluence age when you don't stay in remembrance but become body conscious. Maya slaps you. When you have become 16 cholesterol degree full, the preparation for destruction will also have been completed. They are making preparation for destruction, and you are making preparation to claim your imperishable status. There was not a war between the Kauravas and the Pandavas. The war was between the Kauravas and the Yadavas. Pakistan was created according to the drama that began after you took birth. Now that the Father has come, everything has to happen in a practical way. Baba says it is of here that it is said, river of blood flows everywhere, and then there will be rivers of ghee. Even now, look, they continue to fight so much. Give us this particular city, or we will start a war. Don't pass through here. This is our path. What can they do? How would steamers be able to go across? Then they hold talks. They definitely have to ask other for advice. Whatever hopes they had to receiving help are finished for them. Civil war is fixed in the drama here. The father now says, sweet children become very, very sensible. When you leave here and go back to your homes, you should not forget. You come here to accumulate an income. When you bring small children here, you remain bound to them. You have come here to the shores of the ocean of knowledge. Therefore, the more you earn, the better it is. You should become engrossed in this. You come here to fill your aprons with the imperishable jewels of knowledge. People sing, O innocent Lord, fill our aprons. Devotees go in front of an image of Shankar and say, fill our aprons. They consider Shiva and Shankar to be one and the same. They say Shiv Shankar Mahadev, the great deity. So, the great deity is to be considered greater? Baba says smaller things such as this have to be understood very clearly. It is explained to you, children. You are Brahmins and you are now receiving this knowledge. Human beings reform themselves by studying. Their activity and behavior become very good. You are now studying. Those who study the most and teach others have very good manner too. You would say that Mama and Baba have the best manners. This one is the senior mother. Baba enters him and creates you child. Mother and father are combined. These are such incognito matters. Just as you are studying, Mama too studied. She was then adopted according to the drama because she was very wise. She was named Saraswati. The Brahmaputra is the largest river. There is the meeting of the Brahmaputra river with the ocean. This one is the biggest river. Therefore, he is also the mother. You, sweetest children, are uplifted so much. The Father only sees you, children. He does not have to remember anyone else. This one's soul has to remember the Father. The Father says, both of us look at the children. I, the soul, don't have to see everything as the detached observer. However, I am in the Father's company. Therefore, I also look at everything in the same way. I stay with the Father after all. I am His child and I look at everything with Him. I become the master of the world and tour around everywhere as though I am doing everything. I give drishti, everything, including the body, has to be forgotten. It is as though the child and the father become one. Therefore, the father explains, make a lot of efforts. Truly, Mama and Baba do the same most service. In household too, the mothers and fathers do a lot of service. Those who do service will definitely claim a high status. Therefore, you should follow them, just as the Father uplifts those who defame him. So, you have to follow the Father in the same way. Baba says you have to understand the meaning of that. The Father says, remember me and don't listen to anyone else. When anyone says anything, listen but do not listen. Simply continue to smile and he will automatically cool down. Baba has told you that when someone becomes angry with you, shower flour on him. Tell him you are defaming me and I am uplifting you. The Father himself says, human beings of the whole world defame me. They have caused me so much defamation by saying that I am omnipresent. However, I still uplift everyone. You children are also those who have to uplift everyone. Just think about what you were and what you are going to be. You are becoming the masters of the world. You never even thought or dreamt of it. Baba says many had vision, wish list sitting at home. Somehow nothing happened though visions. The tree will gradually continue to grow. The sapling of new divine tree is being planted. You children, now that your garden of divine flower is now being created. In the golden age there will only be deities. That period is going to become again. The cycle continue to turn. You are the one who will take 84 births. Where would other souls come from? None of the souls that are in the Dramakans be liberated from their paths. This cycle continue to turn. Souls never diminish. They don't become bigger or smaller. The Father explains to you, sweetest children, he says children become bestower of happiness. A mother would tell her children not to fight among themselves. The unlimited Father tells you children, the pilgrimage of remembrance is very easy. You have been going on those pilgrimage for births after births. In spite of that, you souls have continued to come down the ladder and become sinful. The Father says this is a spiritual pilgrimage. You don't have to return to this land of death. People return from those pilgrimage but remain the same as they were before they went. You know that you are going to go to heaven. Heaven used to exist and it will exist again. This cycle has to turn. Baba says there is only the one world. There is not another world in the stars, etc. People beat their head so much to go up there to see what is there. While they are beating their heads, death will come to them. All of that is science. What will happen once they reach there? Death is standing ahead. On the one hand, they go up above and do research. On the other hand, they continue to manufacture bomb for death. Look what the intellect of human beings are like. They understand that someone is inspiring them to do all of that. They themselves says that world war will definitely take place. It will be that same Mahabharat war. The more efforts you children make, the more you will benefit others. You are children of Khuda, God. Anyway, God has made you this his children. Therefore, you become gods and goddess. Lakshmi and Narayan are called it a goddess and a god. People believe that Krishna is God, not as many believe in Radhe. There is praise of Saraswati, but not of Radhe. An urn has been shown on Lakshmi. They have made that mistake as well. They have given Saraswati many names. You are the same ones. You are worshipped as goddess, and you are also worshipped as souls. The father continued to explain everything to you children. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost, and now found children, love, remember, and good morning from the mother, the father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says namaste to the spiritual father and good morning. Essence for the dharana. First, the Father uplifts those who defame him. Therefore, follow the Father. When someone says anything, listen, but do not listen. Simply continue to smile, only listen to the one Father. Second, become bestower of happiness and give happiness to everyone. Don't fight or quarrel amongst themselves or yourself. Become wise and fill your aprons with the imperishable jewels of knowledge. Blessing, may you transform your attitude by making a vow of having pure thoughts and thereby become seated on the heart thorns. Bab Dada explains, Bab Dada's heart thorn is so pure that only pure souls can be constantly seated on it. Those who have impurity and who do anything against the codes of conducts in their mind go into the descending stage instead of being sitting on the throne. So, first of all, transform your attitude by making a vow to have pure thoughts. By transforming your attitude, the world of your fortune or future life will change. The instant fruit of making a vow of having pure and determined thoughts is to be seated on Bap Dada's heart, throne for all time. Slogan, when you have all the powers with you, obstacle free success is guaranteed. Om Shanti.